Hey guys, it's Morgan coming to you with another weekly Shlog. This is our little shop vlog here in Western Colorado at Highland Cycles, where we show you all kinds of cool dirt bike stuff. We got a blown up YZ125 over there, forks on this thing, all kinds of other stuff. And we got Cody in the house getting his suspension revalved. Cody has a channel called 970 Dirt Riders, right?
Yep.
With a Z. With a Z, and we are valving his suspension, getting his bike more set up for big hits and some freestyle kind of stuff. Angry Zach is over there mangling things on a on a grinder. Who knows what he's doing? And we're even doing forks on the FZ6. So yeah, if that sounds like fun, first of all, consider subscribing, hit the notification bell, thumbs up, all that good YouTube junk. But more importantly, stick with us. Here we go. All right, guys, first on my lift. Well, that is on my lift. We're doing forks and some other, anyway, stick around. Those were 4 CSs. I don't think I've filmed those in a very long time. Maybe, I don't even know if I have an in-depth. So doing those. But first thing I'm actually going to do is fork seals on a 2022 TE300. These are the Explorer forks. They are both puking oil. They have about 60 hours on them. So it's time anyway. And Seth's been out having fun in some mud and all the good stuff. So, you know, fork seals leak. So yeah, let's tear them apart. All right, guys, so while these forks internally are different from side to side, one is rebound, one is compression. As far as doing fork seals, they are the same. But I'm also going to show you a little bit about what we do at TBT on valving these. We're not valving these forks. He's actually pretty happy with the way they work, so I'm not going to try to talk him into spending more money that he doesn't need to spend. But I will show you what we do and why we do it. So let's get these fork guards off and go on. All right, one thing I usually mention, but I kind of forgot to mention, is we want to count our clicks on this. So we're going to see how far out from all the way in we are. Go ahead and dump what oil is left out. Actually, a fair amount. It just started leaking. It did puke everywhere and get all of his brake pads and everything, so that's a bummer. But that's all right. Get that dumped out. Now, gonna come in here with a 22 millimeter and go onto that nut right there. Now, gotta get an Allen for this. This is a 17 millimeter Allen. Now we're going to take our cartridge, pump all the old oil out. And here's the start of where, just talking about the valving that we do. So on the rebound fork, there is a mid valve in here, and I'm going to show you that. All right, guys, so like a normal open chamber fork, we have a mid-speed valve right here. This is, I gotta put gloves on. Sorry guys, I'm terrible about it. I know I'll die of something, but anyway. So when you are adjusting this clicker, it's pushing this rod in to there's a needle down in here, and as you go in, it's closing off the bypass. As you come out, it's opening up the bypass. So that is why this is the rebound. This is what controls the rebound in these forks. Okay. Then over here, this is the base valve, and this is not adjustable on this fork. You can see it's actually, you guys probably can't tell. Anyway, it's crazy, super thick shim, guys, man. Anyway, super one-dimensional, but you can't control it. So as this pushes like this, it's forcing oil down this tube and then into this base valve. It's coming in these holes and out and pushing against these shims. And so there's some compression control right here, but you can't adjust it. You can't adjust a bypass at all. So now I'm gonna clean all this up really good, put it all back together. And we're gonna do fork seals, and I'm not gonna show you guys fork seals. I've done fork seals so many times. Yeah, it's the same as always, so don't worry about it. So with TBT, what we do is we install adjustable base valves from the older style open chamber forks. So this piece goes away, new piece that holds all this comes in, but it's got a clicker on it to adjust the bypass. Then we revalve all this shim stack to get it how, for you specifically. Oh, and also, excuse me, also we revalve this mid-speed valve in this side, so you have, and then you still got your clicker for the rebound over here, so you can control that. And we rebound that, we set that all up and valve it specifically for you too. All right, guys, so we got the other side apart, the compression side. Let me show you. So here is the compression valve on this side. And you can see, I don't know if you guys can see it on the camera, but this is a way different stack, much thinner, much less hold up on this side. And that is all there is on this side, because it'll take this apart, drop it through. There is no mid valve on this side. It is just a piston. Now it is, it's got some resistance to flow here. Excuse me, it's got some bypass here, but not really very much. It's just, yeah, so honestly, guys, this is the way KTM cheaps out on suspension, which is really dumb. When you pay 12 grand for a motorcycle, you shouldn't get cheap suspension, and that's what these are, to be honest. Now, I love KTM, I do. I love my new KTM, I love my old KTM, but they bum me out, because the way this works is, so you've got this base valve, this piston coming down, and you've got this rod down in here, and you can screw this in and out to bypass this, to choose how much you want to bypass this, as this forces fluid down through this. So this is the only thing on this fork that you can control, is how much is bypassing through this. Now at TBT, what we've found that works really, really well for a very reasonable amount of money is that we leave this like this. We don't change this. And what we do is we set this up so when you're adjusting this, it becomes a high-speed compression adjuster. And just like the other side, we replace this with a adjustable base valve. We revalve this. It looks very, very different from this setup. And we set it all up. So you end up with two low-speed compression adjusters on the bottom, one rebound on the other side, and we valve that mid-valve real heavy, so you get a lot of control, even though it's just one fork. And then, like I said, we leave this alone, and this now becomes a high-speed adjuster. So it works really well, and it's way less money. I've had some tuners take our stuff apart just for service because they're out of out of state or whatever, and it's not just personally ours, but just TBT in general. And then they post things online. Oh, look at these guys, didn't even do this and didn't. Well, here's the thing, folks. We also didn't charge what other people do. Other people do a full open chamber conversion, and we also offer that. It's just quite a bit more money. So we offer a less expensive setup on the Explorer valves, or on the Explorer forks. And that's what I've got on mine, and I absolutely freaking love it. And it costs about $300 less than doing the full open chamber conversion. And as far as I'm concerned, $300, that's either a set of tires or some mousses, whatever. There's a lot of things that I would rather spend that money on when we make the suspension work really, really well with that setup. So, you know, to all those guys out there accusing us of cheaping out and not doing things right, no, you're wrong, first of all. And everybody has always been super happy with the way it works. So anyway, I'm going to put this thing back together. Hope that explains things. Comment below if that makes sense to you guys, if you know what I'm talking about, or if that helped you kind of understand how these Explorer forks work. And yeah, we'll get back to it. And like I said, if you're interested in having us valve your suspension, please let me know. If you have Explorer forks, you know, the first level is to do what I just discussed with the valving, and then if you want to go the next level up, we can go with a full open chamber conversion, and then if we want to go super A kit, we can 6500 these things and make it rad. So yeah, thanks guys. I'm gonna put this back together. Next job. All right guys, now we are to this 300 XCW that has the 4CS forks on it. So it's got, so it looks like Enduro spec did Huck valve in it. So I've never actually seen these forks with the Huck valve, so that might be kind of cool. Let's take them apart. We'll obviously take them off the bike, take those things apart and take a look, because like I said, I've seen what it looks like in a shock. I've actually never seen it in a fork. We don't use them, nothing against them. We just don't use them. We use other setups that I feel do as good, if not better, a job. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with the Huck valve. I do like the concept. It's the same kind of concept as the Hydro Stop on the new AER forks. So yeah, let's take these things apart and get in there and take a look. All right, guys, so I got the top of the fork off, and that's all normal. Now I flipped it over to get the bottom off, and mark one demerit for an XTX Huck valve. It obviously installs this thing here in the bottom that is different from the normal way that you take it off. And of course, I don't have that tool because I don't use MX Tech stuff. But I think we're okay. Let me show you what we're going to do. I've got this pin tool, and I believe those pins will work. I line them up. Yeah. Okay. So those pins are going to work. That's disgusting. Huh. So all this looks normal. So there we go. So I believe all of this is the Huck valve. It's got these holes, I think, as this comes down and it goes into, yep, it's gonna go into, this is part of it too. So as this comes down, it's gonna resist bottoming. And there's some bypasses through this stuff, but it's kind of how their stuff works. Like I said, it's like the Hydro Stop on the new AERs, and it works good. It's not I'm definitely not bad mouthing this setup at all. But honestly, as far as I'm concerned, the 4CS is the best thing you can do is just throw them away, because they're absolutely horrible forks. All right, I'm gonna go do a whole bunch of cleaning, and then we'll put these things back together. And I'll probably not gonna bring you in for all the putting the seals back in, but I will bring you back in for the other side and see if it's any different. All right, guys, we got that one fork back on and got the other fork apart, and it's just exactly the same. Now, I'm sure they are set up that one is rebound runs compression, just like the normal 4CSs, but the Huck valve is the same on both. Although it seems like, I don't know, if I were doing that setup, I would, so it seems like if I were doing that setup, I might just have them both set up for, well, no, there's no base valve. So yeah, one's going to be compression, one's going to be rebound, just like on the normal 4CS. But now you have this Huck valve in the bottom to help resist bottoming and have that kind of cushion at the bottom, which I think is pretty cool. Pretty cool setup. I don't know because I haven't ridden this bike or any bikes with this, but my guess is these things still suck because 4CS forks are the worst. No amount of tuning actually fixes them. I don't care. I've ridden so many versions of it, and the only way to really fix it is to throw the forks away and put new forks on it, or at least all the internals. So yeah, we're gonna clean this thing up, put it back on, and then I gotta do a bunch of chassis greasing and things like this. So if I find anything else, I'll bring you guys in. All right, guys, so next on the list is actually not a dirt bike, but it is considered a dual sport bike. We've got a V-Strom here. I'm gonna be doing chain sprockets, battery, and a couple other little things, nothing huge. I actually really like V-Stroms. I had a V-Strom 1000 back, I don't know, it's been a while. It was a pretty cool thing, and I'm looking to do this again. If anybody knows of any smoking deals on something cool like this, like not expensive, but kind of a cool bike, the one I bought, I found in St. Cloud, Minnesota. I bought it, I flew out there, and then I rode it home, and it was a really fun adventure. So I'm kind of looking to do something like that. So if anybody knows of any really cool thing like that, I think it'd make a really cool video for you guys to kind of show the whole process of buying a bike online, sight unseen, and then flying out, getting the thing, and then trying to make it back without it breaking. So yeah, anyway, if anybody knows anything, that'd be cool. But quick thing, I want to do a couple little spotlights. First of all, I want to talk about the boots, the Brunt workwear. These things have been honestly awesome. I've gotten tons of oil standing right over here next to the suspension service. Lots of oil on them already. They've been grippy on the concrete, which is awesome. Super comfortable. I can say that I wear an 11, and I bought an 11, or I had them send me an 11, and they're a little on the big side, so that's not bad. I'm just saying that that's how they fit. If you're ordering things, if you're kind of like a half size or whatever, maybe go down a half from what you would normally do. Although I'm happy with the 11s. I don't think I would want a 10.5, but they are definitely a little on the big side. Took a little while to break in, probably about a week. Maybe not even a week, maybe 3-4 days to break in here. They've been great on the concrete floor. I've been super happy with them. But make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, because I'm going to just keep testing them, keep beating on them. And, you know, if they fail at any time, I'll let you know. I haven't had them for too long, but they have been through a lot already. So, again, really, really happy. Another thing I want to update you guys on is a product called Stuck Nuts. It is a new thread locker that a guy is putting out, and I'm really happy to promote it. First of all, I've tried it, and I honestly had to break it loose, and so the stuff works really good. That's awesome. But I'm really, really excited about promoting it, because this guy found out about how the Loctite brand really provided a ton of money to try to close trails up in the Rico area. The owner, or one of the owners of Loctite, the guy, his name is Henkel, last name Henkel, owns the Dutton Hot Springs. He is a royal piece of crap, in my opinion. He wants to shut down all motorized anything up there. I actually just talked to a friend of mine, says that he will snow plow stuff across the road to keep snowmobilers from getting in there. The guy's a real jerk. I hope he sees this. You're a jerk, and come on down here and let's talk about it. But and he owns Loctite, and so is my opinion. And Loctite, him and Loctite provided a ton of money to try to get those trails closed, and they're not closed. They did get a lot of them closed, but they're not all the way closed, and we need to keep fighting. And the TPA and Covco are people to talk to about that. They have been funneling a ton of money into it to try to fight that stuff, and it's been a real nightmare. But you know, it's tenuous. But this guy with the Stuck Nuts high strength thread locker, and he's got medium strength thread locker, is fighting against the man. He's come up with his own thread locker. He's telling us motorized people to stop using Loctite. I actually haven't used Loctite. I call it Loctite. Here we go. I haven't used Loctite brand in a very, very long time. I normally use the Worth thread locker. And I call it Loctite because it's kind of like Xerox or Kleenex or whatever. I'm going to stop calling it that because I had heard that there was some big corporation. I didn't know who it was. I didn't know. I did some checking. I fact-checked it. It is Loctite. He is the guy who owns it, or at least part owner in the company. And I'm fighting against it. And I think you should too. I think you should buy some Stuck Nuts. Let's see. I don't know what their website is. www.stuck-nuts.com. I will put that here on the screen and in the description below. If you go there, you can use Highland 10 as a code and save money. And save some money. Buy this stuff, guys. Screw that guy. Sorry about my language. Screw that guy up in Dunton. You know, we're never going to beat Loctite probably. But you know what? If we can make a dent and make it hurt a little bit, that would be awesome. All right, now I got to do chain sprockets. But actually, before I do chain sprockets, I'm changing some tires and some tubes. It's been crazy today. I haven't been filming much. Sorry about that. But yeah, let's just get on to the next job. All right, guys, last job of the week is a set of fork seals on a YZ450FX. These are just like every other SSS fork, but I don't know if I've really shown in detail recently why these forks are so good. So let's take them apart and let's dive in and I'll show you what's up. All right, guys, so you're going to notice if you've watched my video on the 6500 kit, and you've never taken it apart an SSS fork, you're going to see that they're very, very similar. And yeah, it's interesting. Basically, Yamaha came out with this fork, basically the exact same fork as this in 2006. 2005 was a little kind of like this, but actually 2006 was the true SSS. And it hasn't really changed since then because it really doesn't need to. And if you buy a KYB conversion for your WP stuff on KTM, it's just putting the SSS stuff in. So basically, every other manufacturer has been chasing KYB for a long time now. So we're going to drain the outer oil, and we'll pull the inner cartridge out, and we'll take a look at it. All right, guys, so I got this apart. I just want to show you something. See, oh, there you go. You can see it right there. See that bend? I just texted this customer, and I'm going to find out if he knows about that bend. But that is the telltale sign that the bike was used as a snow bike, or at least the suspension was, because there's a clamp that goes on here to hold the ski mount, and that is what happens when you hit something really hard with your bike as a snow bike. Because you can see it's like back in where the brake, I mean, that would never get hit. It's also, it's not scratched at all because the clamp that goes on there is aluminum and well built. But when you hit something, it can torque right there and cause that problem, which also makes me think that's why these were in there. Was to stiffen these things up, because snow bikes really like to be stiff on the front end, like almost a rigid front end. They run really, really stiff springs. So yeah, I'm waiting to hear from him, and we'll see what he wants to do. I'm sure he's gonna want me to put it back together because it's not really a problem, I don't think, unless he bottoms out. It might cause a little bit of an issue right there at the end of the stroke, but I don't think it wasn't leaking, so I don't think it causes a leak. And I don't think it causes the bike to handle poorly. I just want him to know about it. So, yeah. While we're waiting for that, I'm going to go ahead and get that out of the way, and I'll show you the inside of this cartridge. Apart, you might recognize this as what looks like was in the 6500 kit. Obviously, a little bit different design, but this is the ICS that we replaced with a lighter one. This is the free piston that kind of helps seal this thing up. They don't use that exact setup. They use just a single thing without this big plastic piece, which honestly This plastic piece causes more trouble than it's worth most of the time, unless you do what they've already done, which is drill a hole here. If you don't, they'll blow apart. But yeah, it works the same. This is the base valve. So this is the compression adjuster up on top, and as the piston comes up in, and I'll take that out, show you what that looks like. There we go. So this is the mid valve, and as this, you can picture like this, as this is pushing up, it's pushing fluid through here, compressing, and then as it comes back out, the fluid is coming through these holes and out, and this is the rebound valving. This is also like a secondary kind of compression valving here, so you can help really control these bikes. And these things are amazing. They work so well. Like I said, basically every other suspension company has been chasing KYB since '06, and they work really, really well. I like the 6500 because in my WPs, because I feel like they work just as well, but I don't have to buy the lugs and all that stuff. I save some money with the 6500 over a KYB conversion. So other people disagree. Some people think the KYB just works better. I don't know. I think it depends on the valving, who does the custom valving inside here that really makes it special. So I think TBT does a great job, and so I think that we can do it without having to spend the extra, like it's almost $500 more to do KYB. So anyway, there we go. Now we're gonna put all this back together. Gonna bleed this cartridge, get it all nice and bled, and then we'll slide the whole thing back together. All right, guys, that's the end of the week, end of the Shlog. Thank you so much for joining me on this week's journey. It's a lot of fun. If you're new here, if this is the first Shlog you've ever checked out or the first video of Highland Cycles, make sure you go scouring through our channel. We have tons and tons of videos, everything from stuff like this to ride videos, review videos, super duper in-depth detailed build videos. For instance, we're going to be filming one here on this YZ125 here soon. And yeah, a little bit of everything here. So make sure you check us out. Maybe consider giving us a subscribe. That would be awesome. Thumbs up would be cool too. Quick note, we are going to be installing a Spanish Fly spark arrestor on this beta silencer next week. So make sure you stay tuned, subscribe for that, because those Spanish Fly spark arrestors are absolutely brilliant. I love them, love them, love them. I'm really excited about those. I love it on my KTM. I'm excited to get one on a beta. It's gonna be really cool. Lots more coming, guys. I love you so much. Punk Rock Club, I love you more than everyone else. If you want to be part of the Punk Rock Club, all you got to do is stick around at the end of the videos, comment a rock and roll sign, and you're part of the club. And I will love you more than everybody else. So I love you. Get out, spread the gospel of two wheels. And as always, I hope that what we're doing here at Highland Cycles is inspiring you guys to work on, but more importantly, get out and ride your dirt bikes.